A very, very good morning and a very warm welcome to all of you. My name is Dan Chalk. I am the Senior Research Fellow and HSMA Programme Lead with the PennCord team of PennArc. And first of all, could I just say how amazing it is to see so many of you here today to hear about the HSMA programme and showing an interest in being part of what we think is a really exciting programme that will really help develop analytics in health, social care and policing. So today is all about giving you a bit more insight into the HSMA programme, giving you a bit of background about how it came about, how it's evolved over the years. It's certainly evolved quite significantly. But also to show you what our vision is for HSMA4 and to really go into some details about what the HSMA4 programme, which launches this October, is going to look like. And also to talk you through the application process as well. The applications are launching this afternoon. You will receive an email with a link to the application form and the various application materials. And we'll talk a little bit more about that a little later. And just to take you through some of the things that we will be doing today. So in a moment, I'm going to hand over just a few brief words from our PennArc director, Professor Stewart Logan, who's going to talk a little bit about HSMA and how it fits into sort of PennArc and the wider strategy there. And also our team director, Professor Martin Pitt, who's going to talk a little bit about how HSMA came about and the roots of this. So what feels like so many years ago now, but I think everything feels like so many years ago with what's happening in the world. I'm then going to be talking quite a bit about the details of the programme and the application process. We're going to have a little bit of time for Q&A. If you have questions that come up during the session, please post them in the chat, and my assistant Kath will be able to let me know if there are any sort of pressing questions that we can address at various points. There'll also be then a short comfort break, and then quite excitingly, you are going to get to experience a mini lecture. I realise that may not sound that exciting, but you're going to get to hear a little bit about firsthand the sort of things that you will learn about on HSMA4. And so we've developed a little mini training session for you to get a little sample about the sort of things you're going to be covering, and we're going to split you up into groups and get you to do a little mini group exercise as well. So hopefully that will give you a bit of a taste of what's to come in the HSMA programme. It also means you get a little heads up on the training, even if you don't make it onto the programme. You've got a little bit of training already, and it'll also mean that unfortunately, most of the training is delivered by me. So if you find my voice incredibly annoying, then this will give you a chance to think again. Hopefully you won't. We've also got, so obviously the official open day will close at 12:30. However, we are setting up an optional session if you want to remain on the call for half an hour after the session closes, between 12:30 and 1. A few of us will be staying on. If you want to speak to us directly about any aspects of the programme, we're very happy to talk to you about that and to answer any questions that you may have. So if something doesn't get covered earlier in the session, then hopefully we can cover it there. And if we don't manage to get time, or you can't stay on but you do have questions after, please do get in touch, and we're very happy to answer any questions you may have. Hopefully I'm going to be proactive and address most of the common questions you're likely to have about the programme and about the application process this morning. But without further ado, I'd like to first hand over to Professor Stewart Logan. Thank you, Stuart, for coming along to our event today. And Stuart's just going to talk a little bit about HSMA and its importance to the wider ARC. Thank you.
Hi, great. Thanks, Dan. It's really lovely to be here. Yeah, I have to be honest, if you'd said to me when I was first writing the Clark bid in 2008 that the PennCord and operational research was going to be a major part of the Clark and then the ARC, I would have been a touch surprised. And frankly, I didn't know much about it. The only reason we really started off having anything in is because Ken Steen, who was involved in writing the bid, said he knew this really clever guy called Martin and that maybe he should be part of it. And then what happened for me was that, I knew this was going on and we were doing some vaguely interesting sounding stuff. And then I spoke to the Vice Chancellor, who had been at a meeting of all the local NHS chief execs. And he was telling them all how wonderful academia was and how good it was for the NHS. And he said, well, actually, one of the chief executives turned around and said, the only good thing that the academics had ever done for him was that Martin Pitt and his crew had produced this model which completely transformed the way they ran appointment services. And then one of the other people said, yes, well, he also fixed our bed service, which was enormously surprising to the Vice-Chancellor, and frankly was a bit surprising to me. But it did make me suddenly start looking a bit more carefully at what was going on. And then I started doing some work around with some of the people around some of the stroke work and so on, and seeing the extraordinary power of, it's not for me the power of your unbelievably clever techniques. It's more the power of using those techniques to help the people who make decisions make sensible decisions. And it's that combination that has been, for me, the thing that has made the whole of Pencord and their work just different from most of what the rest of us do in academia in terms of the immediacy of its impact. And what we began to realize over time is just how widespread the kind of problems are to which applying this kind of thinking and this kind of way of working can actually make really big differences. So then, of course, we're stuck with the problem that there are not very many people who know how to do this. And I don't know who came up with the idea of the HSMA first, but whoever it was a very good idea as a way of trying to spread this out. And of course, now what we've got is this fantastic opportunity. Firstly, we found how interesting it was to be able to work with the police in a very different environment from the one we were mostly used to in the health service, realizing that the same kinds of problems can be addressed with this way of working. And it's just fantastic now to see a large number of people who now think we've found a way of making this accessible to not just in the local health service, but more widely across the country and to our colleagues in the police. I mean, I do know, Dan always reminds me of a proselytizing preacher, because he really kind of pulls you along with him. But I think he's right. That way in which we were able to, for instance, during the time of the pandemic, to pivot work using the core of PennArc and many people who've been previous modeling associates to do hugely important work transforming services to respond to the pandemic. It's just such a powerful way of working. So I'm a convert, and I'm delighted to see you all here. And I'm sure we're going to have another brilliant course. So thanks, Dan. That's enough from me.
Thanks very much, Stuart. Thank you. I like the description of me as a preacher. I shall bear that in mind moving forward. Fantastic. Yeah, thank you. So I'm now going to hand over to our team director, Martin Pitt, who's going to talk a little bit about the origins of HSMA, where this thing came about.
Thanks, Dan, and thanks for those kind words, Stuart. I think anybody who knows anything about Pencord, the group the research group that we represent, will know that we're driven primarily by the concerns of the health service, not by our kind of academic passions and things, but by what we can do to deploy the tools that we have in order to address the issues in the health service and hopefully make a difference. And it's quite striking. A while ago when we had a team group meeting, a lot of the motivation from the team seemed to be coming from the idea that we could make a difference in the health service. So that's what drives our research. And one of the things we realized at the outset, working with Ken and others, was that yes, we can do things as a research team. We can work in collaboration, and we do work quite closely with health NHS organisations, NHS staff, and try and help them. But there's an old expression which is, give someone a fish and you feed them for a day. Teach someone to fish and you feed them for a lifetime. I know it sounds quite trite, but it's absolutely true. If we can embed some of the things that we know, some of the skills and techniques and tools that we have in our research team, in the NHS itself, in the analytic teams, in the management improvement teams, and so on, then we can make an enormous difference. And it was out of that, if you like, that belief, that desire, that we launched the Health Service Modelling Associates Programme. And I think that's more than shown to be true by what's happened. It's been really gratifying to see how successful it's been. And I must pay tribute at this point to Dan, who I think has really sort of taken this and run with it. And I think, you know, a lot of the success of the HSMA program, you must be laid at Dan's door, you know, preacher or not. He's made a tremendous difference to how the program's developed. So to everyone here today, really warm welcome, and this is a really exciting new chapter in the Health Service Modelling Associate journey, to mix my metaphors a bit. We're going to be looking at how we can expand this on a national platform, so that we can extend the benefits, the undoubted benefits that you would have seen from the initial video, to the wider country. And you know, we're very excited about how these developments will spin out. So welcome, and without further ado, I'll pass you back to Dan for the next exciting instalment in this day's open session.